When I train for American Ninja Warrior, I schedule regular workouts to stay in shape.
To keep my car in Ninja Tough shape, I head to a Napa Auto Care Center for regular maintenance and genuine Napa Auto parts.
Like brakes and batteries.
I trust my Napa Auto Care Center for quality parts and quality service.
And with the 24-month, 24,000-mile nationwide warranty, I drive away with peace of mind every time.
Visit AutoCareNM.com to find a location near you.
The Barley Room, proud sponsor of Proview Networks for over 9 years, is pleased to introduce Black Iron Catering. From weddings and family reunions to birthdays and office parties, Black Iron Catering is perfect for any event. Contact Jamie at 505-459-8259 and book your event today. Black Iron Catering. Let us bring our kitchen to you.
All-new Gala Chevrolet, our ultimate goal is to make life easier for you. That's why we built our new ultra-modern facility from the ground up with the customer in mind. With 1,000 vehicles in stock, a great variety of pre-owned vehicles of every make and model, a clean, state-of-the-art service department focused on getting you back on the road as quickly as possible, and a sales team devoted to 100% customer satisfaction. All conveniently located in the heart of Albuquerque. We'll see you soon, right here at the all-new Gala Chevrolet.
Car Crafters, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened? Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Red Menace TV here on Proview Networks. I got tongue-tied there, Michael.
You had like 20 minutes to practice that.
I know, right? It's like things are running late, and I can't even do it. Hey, I'll tell you what. It's because 2017, the season that will never end, just keeps getting extending.
No, I'm pretty sure it's, as we tape today, it's February 14th of 2018.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, I mean, it's just like, and I'm talking about the Bob Davey
I know.
Fiasco. I don't even know what to call it.
Well, that goes all the way back to 2012, so I mean,
that's true.
You're really extending 2017.
Yeah, we're starting to move into a decade of trouble there. So we'll definitely discuss that a little later on as trying to keep up with that in the week that was, because this broke, let's see, we taped last Wednesday, it broke on Thursday, is that right?
The news of the suspension came out on Thursday. The
suspension, then there was the appeal, and then yesterday the appeal was denied. 6-0, I believe, was the official number.
They didn't deny the appeal so much as they denied hearing the appeal.
Hearing the appeal, right. So I guess Bob Davey's next course of action, if he chooses, is to go to court. Is that right?
I don't know that that's right or not. My guess is there's something in his contract that any disputes are settled through arbitration or mediation.
Oh, okay, there you go.
But I don't know that for sure.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's good. It's good. You're wearing your Lobo red today.
It's my Valentine's red.
Oh, gosh. I didn't even snap about that. That's good. Valentine's Day. That's right. Did you take care of your Valentine?
Of course.
I heard you on the radio yesterday. You were giving away prize packs to people that had forgotten and screwed up. Took care of that all, but not Michael Carlisle. Miss Carlisle, she's squared away.
She's taken care of.
That's right. That's right. You're a good husband.
Well, maybe not. I'm spending Valentine's Day at the pit tonight for the Lobo game.
So they're not doing that anymore, where they used to marry people at the pit. Do you remember those years?
I do not.
You don't remember those years where they people would come up, they'd go down onto the pit floor, and then they'd actually get married. They did it a few. It's been a while now. I think wasn't Steve Alford, or sorry, what's Steve Alford's official title?
St. Stephen Offer, the patron saint of Lobo victims.
Yeah, that's it. I think he was the coach there.
Let's be honest.
Okay.
They have a hard enough time just getting people there to watch games, and never mind getting them there to get married.
Yeah, it's 2018. Nobody gets married anymore.
Well, no, but I'm just saying, you just take what you can get. Not getting married, just as far as getting people to show up to the.
I was going to say, should we ask Miss Carlisle about this?
Well, no, that's not what I was talking about.
Okay. I mean, it's like he'll do. Now, hey, award-winning radio, of course, every Monday through Friday there on 610 D Sports Animal and
95.9.
I'm old school. I still listen to it on the AM, mostly because my FM presets are already full. But my AM, ouch. I'm just saying where I live. Well, the AM, you come out crystal clear.
Sure.
So it's fine.
Old school.
It's only when I make the phone calls or whatever, and I'm using the new iPhone, that's when I get dropped off. I have to pull over now. It's like, what happened? I might as well get the brick phone again.
Maybe.
$1 a minute.
You're the only person who upgrades phones and gets worse reception.
Yeah, right. That's what I was saying. You're absolutely right. Exactly. So anyway, we'll talk about that and see. Obviously, Lobo basketball plays. We're taping on Wednesday night. They play tonight versus Utah State. Big game. As they're still in that third position, not upper tier.
They're in a big group of teams that are separated by one game from third to seventh.
Yeah. I'm still going to hold on that they're going to finish in the top 3.
Good luck with that.
It could happen. It could happen.
Maybe you should go get married at the pit tonight because you're obviously a dreamer. No?
Ixnay on the dreamer stuff. We don't need to go into politics, and let's not talk let's not talk about marriage. Okay?
I just meant you were someone who dreams big. That's all. I wasn't trying to go political.
All right,
I'm sorry.
Anyway, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back with Micah Frankel and CageMinds.com as lots of stuff going on in the world of face busting.
Yes.
And elbow to the face.
Okay.
Pile driver to the face. You ever watched Nacho Libre?
Not in 15 years.
Oh my goodness, it's only one of the greatest movies of all time and you've never seen it.
Gone with the Wind, Wizard of Oz, Nacho Libre. Godfather and Nacho Libre.
There you go.
Makes sense.
We'll take a quick break. We'll be back with Micah Frankel.
Terrazas in a run with it. Terrazas fakes the pass, finishes on the right hand.
Clock. B-Hill is going to run all the way into the paint over Marlin.
Oh, what a shot.
Oh, what a strong take inside.
Here's the handoff to Madrid underneath. What are they going to call? A block, so count it.
This is where Zeller's so tough right here when he takes it to the hole.
Zeller all the way in the left hand. There you go. In a win for Volcano. Reyes, it's a tough drive, and he finished. At the board, and he's going to run out with it. Quickly a 2-on-2. Quintana, yes! A circus shot from Tyler Quintana. Valencia, he changed his mind last moment. Domina Lovato's going to go on the left hand. He doesn't change his mind and beats the buzzer. Here's some time. Chavez beats the buzzer, goes high window, and he gets it.
Back to him.
Here's Phillips. Oh, and there's some room for Manzano. Manzano's going to go high off the window, and he finishes. There
he was.
Now it is to Anthony Chavez. Chavez for 3, and the win. Yes! He got it! Anthony Chavez beats the buzzer! Unbelievable.
congratulate our first customers at our brand new facility right here at Gala Chevrolet, the Jose's. And how was your experience?
It was awesome and great.
What'd you end up buying?
We bought a 2018 Chevy Silverado.
And how would you say the experience was overall?
I bought all my cars here at Gala Chevrolet, and we couldn't wait for the new facility open, and all the people really treated us well.
Well, on behalf of Gala Chevrolet, we say thank you, and we'll see you soon right here at Gala Chevrolet.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a #1. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of Proview Sports Network. Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Locally loved restaurants like Farina Pizzeria, Farina Alto, and the Artichoke Cafe are the perfect venue for your next event. Farina Alto has traditional Italian food, plus handcrafted cocktails in a beautiful Northeast Heights location. Farina Pizzeria with a downtown vibe, amazing affordable wines, and local beer. And the Artichoke Cafe has set the standard for casual fine dining since 1989. Visit our family of restaurants and see what fine dining is all about.
Folks, there's no other way but to be all in. Either he's Lord of all, or he is not Lord at all. And you can experience the real and authentic, true life change that only God can provide to humanity. See, when we truly encounter Jesus and purpose to know him and follow his teachings, #life change will occur.
Sadie's is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school sports and athletics, and we here at Proview Networks would like to thank Sadie's for their continued support in helping us bring you all of your New Mexico high school sports coverage.
Welcome to the place where we talk about people getting punched in the face. This is Caged Minds. I'm Micah Frankel. Joining me this week at the desk, we have Jess Martinez. Before we get to talking to him about his upcoming main event at the Jackson's MMA series, there was one fight last weekend in the MMA world going on, one big fight, UFC 221, all the way around the world in Australia. We got a pair of highlights for you. Start off with the highlight from the main event. Luke Rockhold, Yoel Romero. Rockhold started out early with the kicks. Romero would eventually check one. In the second round, we would see a lot less kicking, a lot more aggressive Romero. Romero really doing a good job of controlling the pace of when the exchanges took place, exploding after lulling the sleep Rockhold. A double jab, big overhand. After the overhand came after Rockhold tried to land his counter overhand. A big knockout victory for Yoel Romero, who missed weight for the fight, but that doesn't matter. He still ends up as the middleweight #1 contender. Jess, did you watch that fight on Saturday night?
Oh yeah, it was a real good fight. I was expecting a good brawl, but Yoel, his pressure is ridiculous. I think that was a good fight. I enjoyed it a lot. But yeah.
Again, I marvel, I think, at the way he's able to control the pace of the fight. He lulls you to sleep. There's only a few guys, Yoel Romero, John Jones, where you kind of, I incur it to a lion. You kind of caught in the headlights just looking at what he's doing, and before you know it, you're letting him dictate what happens.
Exactly. Yoel was definitely hunting for that knockout the whole time. I think, too, his wrestling probably helps out with that so much. I feel so many of opponents worry about his athleticism and just his wrestling in general. They kind of get timid, and then he unloads some hands on you, and you feel that power. You take a hit from a man that big, you're gonna feel it, So
definitely. And again, some worrisome stuff from Luke Rockhold. Likes to drop his hands a lot. and not a lot of angling. He was very linear. Everything was straight back. He didn't want to move side to side. Tactically, it was a bad fight, putting himself in positions that left him right in front of Romero for Romero to explode, I felt.
Yes, sir. I felt whenever Romero did rush him, he rushed him straight back into the cage. Rockhold needed to angle out. He needed to circle off the cage because even too, Yoel being a wrestler, he probably wanted him against the cage whenever he gave him those flurries, you know? But I think Rockhold had a pretty solid game plan too. He was beating up the leg pretty good. Probably beat up his own shin a little bit. Looked like it hurt his shin. He had caught some blood in the first round right off the shin. But yeah, Yoel, I can't wait for the rematch with him and Whittaker. That's for sure. That's going to be good. Whittaker, my bad. But yeah.
Robert Whittaker, Yoel Romero, hopefully this summer. I still say Whittaker's the favorite. I think he's the best middleweight on the planet right now.
That's a bold statement, but I agree too. He's young and hungry. He's getting it. I mean, he already beat him once. I think he can probably do it again. I'm a big fan of him too. Yeah. So yeah.
And then we also have one more highlight from UFC 221. The co-main event featured one of Australia's favorite, Mark Hunt, in action. Here we go. Mark Hunt early with success, landing some big shots, had Curtis Blades in trouble, going after the finish and almost too excited for the finish, overswings. And from there on out, we'd have Curtis Blades on top, a ton of ground and pound, and an unhappy audience. Curtis Blades with an effective game plan, a dominant performance. It lands him now in the new UFC rankings in the top 5. I believe this is 5 consecutive wins since an early TKO loss to Francis Ngannou. Ngannou got that win with a TKO stoppage because of injury closing up Blades' eye. Blades looks to be a dominant heavyweight, but the UFC kind of favors knockout artists. They favor these big talkers. Curtis Blades is a kind of lunch pail, meat and potatoes guy who's a dominant wrestler. Not since Brock Lesnar, who again had that kind of WWE mentality, have the UFC really put over a wrestler. So Jess, what do you think of Curtis Blades? Do you think a guy with that kind of style can be successful in the environment we're seeing of MMA?
Oh, definitely. I mean, just look at the last heavyweight championship with Stipe and Ngannou. He controlled Ngannou and gassed him out. He used his wrestling. He was riding him the whole time, referee's position, you know what I mean? And Blades basically did the same thing, just a little bit more ground and pound. I enjoyed that fight, so I liked it a lot. I wish he kind of would have went for a little bit more submissions, but him being a wrestler probably slacked on that a little bit. But I enjoyed it a lot. Mark Hunt always has good hands too. It was a good fight. I liked it.
Curtis Blades is a Chicago native. He wants his next fight to be at UFC 225. He just had a huge win, and I think the only one that makes sense would be Cain Velasquez. We've heard the rumors that he'll be coming back in 2018, and I'll be the first one to say it. I'd love to see Curtis Blades, Cain Velasquez, a #1 contenders match. The winner of that would fight the winner of the super fight this summer. I think that sounds like a good one to make.
Oh, yes, sir. That's going to be a good one. I think Daniel Cormier also, I think he's only really taking that fight to kind of set up Cain to train for Stipe. I don't even know how that one's gonna go, but yeah, Blades and Cain sounds like a very good fight too. Both of them excellent wrestlers. Yeah, being able to see Cain come back too, that'd be nice. I'm a big fan of Cain, so yeah.
So we had one event last weekend, and this weekend it's totally packed, much more. 5 events in all. Give you a little rundown real quick. On Friday night, UFC Fight Pass, you can turn to Titan FC 48. Jose Shorty Torres, 6-0, the 135 and 125 Titan champion, defends the 125 title against Colombian Alberto Orlano. Also, 2012 Cuban Olympic wrestler Gustavo Ballart is on that card. You have Bellator on the Paramount Network, Bellator 194. The Heavyweight Grand Prix continues. A rematch as Big Country Roy Nelson takes on Matt Meathead Mitrione. The winner of this fight most likely becomes the favorite in the tournament. I fully believe that. The co-main event, Patricky Pitbull Freire, Derek Campos. This is also a rematch from Bellator 117, and I believe the winner is the rightful #1 contender. Should get the winner of Brett Campos or Brett Premise versus Michael Chandler. We have LFA 33 on Access TV. Undefeated 8-0 welterweights in the main event. Jalil Willis versus Kyle Stewart. UFC vet Damon Jackson is in the co-main event. Undefeated top light heavyweight prospect Alonzo Manafield. Strawweight prospect Macy Barber. And an undefeated flyweight scrap between Isaiah Gutierrez and Kevin Worth. That is on Access TV Friday night. Also between ESPN and UFC Fight Pass, you have kickboxing action if you just want to see some striking. Glory 50 is in Chicago. The main event of the whole card is a welterweight rematch for the title. Myrtle Grunhart defending against Harut Gregorian. The first time they fought, it ended in a near riot. You have a 4-man heavyweight tournament, and on UFC Fight Pass, the Super Fight Series portion of the Glory card, you have Sitthichai Sitsampilong defending his lightweight title against Christian Baia. UFC has a Sunday event for us this week with the UFC in Austin, Texas. The Jackson Wink Academy has several fighters on the card. You have Donald Cowboy Cerrone looking to stop a 3-fight losing streak, taking on Yancy Medeiros. You have in the co-main event Morsing Tabora against Texas' own Derek Lewis. Tibau Guti is taking on Sage Northcutt. You can head on over to Cage Minds Combat Sports News Facebook page, and we have GT with a little interview with us from a couple weeks ago. Also, Joby Sanchez takes on Roberto Sanchez. CageMinds.com, we have an interview with Joby up talking about that fight. And now we can get on to talking about Jackson's MMA Series 24. It's coming up February 24th at the Buffalo Thunder Resort and Casino. 2 undefeated fighters in the main event. Jess Martinez, thanks for joining me this week.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. I'm glad I can be here. Feeling good.
Feeling good in the main event spotlight. This is the second time I'm seeing you fight in the main event. But this is the first time that you know that you're going to be in the main event. At King of the Cage, it was something that we found out at the weigh-ins you would be the main event when you took on Isaias Gordo. Now going into this fight, how does it feel taking it all in that you're the main eventer, you're on the poster, all the spotlight and attention's on you?
I enjoy it. I don't see it as a lot of spotlight or anything. I just know that I'm fighting last and I won't be able to enjoy everyone else fighting really. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm just ready to go. I've been waiting for a while to kind of get a fight. I've been trying to stay busy and grappling and stuff, just keep things going. But yeah, I'm excited for this fight. Excited to be main event. It's a good event. Excited. I got a good opponent. Yeah, it's good. Everything is working out smoothly, I feel.
Started the grappling. That was your base. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu at like 9, 10 years old, you had told me, is where you started. You spent a long time on the mats. Is that really your true love right there? Is your first love?
Yeah, definitely. Jiu-Jitsu is definitely my first love. I enjoy it. I enjoy combat in general now, just the whole aspect of the game. It's always going to be advancing, always improving. But yeah, jiu-jitsu is always going to be my first love. I know I could do that until I really get something serious happening to me, but as far as physically, but I know I can do that until I'm a good 40, 50 years old, as long as I keep healthy and keep my body healthy. Fighting, it's a time clock on that, you know. I know I'm not going to be able to take hits to the head or do that as long as I really want to. But I know I can do jits for. Just look at Helio Gracie. He was competing when he was a super old red belt, you know what I mean? So, or at least still rolling. I heard he was rolling on the mats every day at least until the day he died. So, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind to have that life either.
When did you go from jiu-jitsu and wrestling? When did it progress into this? Yeah, I think I'm going to give MMA a chance. When did that really enter your mind frame?
Well, I could tell you now that almost the main goal was almost to always fight, you know? I was up here one summer with my dad, and he had showed me a fight with Vitor Belfort and Marvin Eastman, and I saw Vitor just crush him, split his head open with the knee, got a big old gash, and ever since then I was like, that's something I want to do. My dad said, you got to get good jiu-jitsu, and I started doing jiu-jitsu. He said I got to get good wrestling, and then just as I came up, I met a lot of different fighters just through the jiu-jitsu platform, you know what I mean? And they would film my wrestling, they would ask me to come help them get ready for fights, and it all just kind of stayed around and stuck, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I've always kind of wanted to fight, I guess you could say. I would always grow up watching Jet Li, Bruce Lee and stuff. Actually, before I did jiu-jitsu and wrestling, I did like a year or two like taekwondo when I was really young, trying to get on my kung fu grind, but yeah.
So it just kind of always took to the martial arts?
Yeah, I kind of always wanted to fight for the most part, yeah. Martial arts, yeah. I always liked it.
That last time you felt what it was like to be in the main event, did that feel any different being one of the last guys to walk out to be that final fight of the night?
Actually, I didn't notice until like the end because I was warming up and normally there's kind of a group in there or there's other fighters kind of waiting to go. And I looked around and I noticed like it was just me and my trainers for the most part and like the dude that, like the co-main event. I was like, okay, this is a little different. And then just after the fight, we had to split right away because it was the main event. Vitt was ready to pack up and go, but yeah, that was the only real difference. I mean, like I said, I view it as a fight. When the bell rings, it doesn't really matter when it's gonna happen, first fight, last fight, or in the middle. I know I have a job to do once the bell rings, so yeah.
What did you take away from that win against Esias? I looked at that fight as something special, something we don't get to see that often. Two former amateur champions that took a risky fight early on into their professional career. What did you learn about yourself from that fight?
I learned a lot in that fight, actually. I mean, Esias Gorlo, he was a good fighter. I felt the experience of fighting on him. Like I remember I knew I had to take him down. It was a good chance. That was my first time going the first 15 minutes. I got to test my cardio, which was honestly, I felt I could have pushed it harder. Me and him ended up kind of getting into a point fighting exchange, and I ended up having to take him down and stuff. But I felt good. I enjoyed that fight, and that was the tallest fighter I fought to date. I mean, most 145ers aren't 6 foot or around there, or my height, so that was nice. But I took a lot from that fight. I took a lot from that fight that I'm bringing into the next fight also. So.
Now, earlier you mentioned it was your dad that had said, go to jiu-jitsu, go to wrestling. Your dad plays a big part in your camp. What's that like? I know he's your strength and conditioning coach. What's it like having your father so active in your professional career?
Good, I enjoy it. Sometimes it's a little much. Like, I have to go home and listen to him, then I'm listening to him in the gym and stuff. But I don't mind it at all because I know at the end of the day he has my best interest at heart, and he won't leave me eating oatmeal and all brain dead in some hospital one day or something. You know what I mean? He has my back and he knows what's best for me at the end of the day. So I enjoy it. It's good having him there pushing me, and it builds our bond too, you know? Father-son bond, it's good.
Roy Cicito, he's going to be the opponent. Someone's always got to go in this one. He got his last win, though, off of a teammate with yours. I saw you sitting in the hallway before the fight with Ernesto as he was eating his pre-fight meal. You were there in his corner. Is there a revenge factor coming into this fight?
I wouldn't necessarily say it's revenge. It's business for me. I mean, if you decide to sign a contract with my name across it, it's business. That means you think you can come into my house and take whatever's on my plate. You think you can crush me. So it's the business part. You sign the contract, let's do it, you know? I wouldn't view it so much as revenge, but more as business. It's what I gotta do, regardless.
Again, you were right there in person for Roy versus Ernesto. What kind of a fight do you expect Roy to bring to this one?
I expect a tough fight. I'm looking forward to it. I know he likes those heavy leg kicks. He likes spinning back fists. He's a very well-rounded fighter. He's a survivor. He goes in there and he gets it. He's gonna push it on me, and I'm gonna push it on him. It's gonna be good. Me and Ernesto, we always go back and forth, so this fight's gonna be interesting. Like, I'm really excited about this one. I haven't been excited about this fight since I fought for the King of the Cage amateur belt. Like, I feel really good about this one.
How do you get the win?
I wish I could predict it. I'm not that good at the game to predict it.
What are some things you have to do to get the win?
Well, I'm definitely going to use my range a little bit more. For the most part, I'm going to do what I always do. I want to be a lot of heavy pressure. My last fight, I felt like I didn't believe in my cardio as much, and I felt like I had a lot more to leave in the cage. And this time, I'm going to make sure I leave it all in the cage. I want to make sure whether win, lose, or draw, or I knock him out or sub him, I don't want to have nothing left in the tank after that fight. I want to leave it all out there. So like I said, Gordo, I didn't believe in my cardio a little bit, and he survived and we got a decision. I don't want decisions in this game, you know? I want to finish, and I know he wants to finish me too. That's why I know it's going to be a good fight. I'm excited about it.
Thanks for joining me this week, Jess.
Yes, sir.
Jackson's MMA series, February 24th. Join us up at the Buffalo Thunder Resort and Casino, and there'll be more Red Menace TV in just a moment.
Hey, New Mexico, come check out the newly remodeled guest rooms at the new Wyndham Albuquerque Hotel and Conference Center, featuring 309 rooms, 30,000 square feet of meeting space. New Mexico's only indoor water park featuring the Wave Runner. 2,200 square foot fitness center with hydro massage chairs. Also enjoy breakfast at our new Manzanita Grill and watch your favorite team play at Altitude Sports Bar and Grill. It's all at Wyndham Albuquerque Hotel and Conference Center. Terry Cosper Insurance Agency is a proud partner with Proview Networks and a proud supporter of New Mexico high school athletics. Terry's been a local farmer's agent for over 20 years for auto, home, life, and business insurance. Just like high school sports are important, so are teen drivers. For more information, call Terry or one of his licensed staff members at 898-5556. Quotes are available for you. Hey everyone, Adam Deal here with Proview Networks. Extreme Clean is a proud sponsor and supporter of Proview Networks and all high school sports athletics. Owner Mike McLean and Extreme Clean specialize in carpet cleaning for apartment, realty, business, and residential clients. With over 20 years experience, attention to detail and quality customer service matters. For more information, give them a call, 505-221-6440, Extreme Clean. Get into the game with Garden Swartz Team Sales. They have everything you need, from screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing services, high school letterman jackets, and all high school and club uniforms and individual and team apparel with the most reliable brands like Speedline, Rollins, and Wilson. And don't forget to check out the latest F7 Shut helmet. It's all at Garden Swartz Team Sales. Give them a call, 505-884-1234. Garden Swartz Team Sales. The New Mexico High School Coaches Association, established in 1941, is an organization of New Mexico's best and most professional interscholastic coaches. Coaches across work daily to help our student athletes excel in the classroom, on the field of play, and in our communities. Students that participate in interscholastic activities attain higher grades, higher graduation rates, and higher wages. Responsible for the North-South All-Star Games, statewide Coaches Award Program, and providing multiple professional development opportunities for New Mexico's coaches. Be a great coach by coaching beyond the game. Hoops NM Basketball Center.
Dreamstyle Remodeling has been wowing homeowners in New Mexico since 1989. Selected as Best Custom Home Remodeler for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Albuquerque Journal, we're also your exclusive provider for top home improvement brands like Renewal by Anderson, Four Seasons, Blaze King, and many others. Founded and headquartered in Albuquerque, Dreamstyle Remodeling is family-owned and now employs more than 500 people across the southwestern U.S. In fact, we've helped more than 60,000 homeowners improve their home in New Mexico, Arizona, California, Idaho, and West Texas. We're committed to providing a superior customer experience. We've earned 4.6 stars with hundreds of online reviews and have an A+ with the BBB. Dreamstyle Remodeling is a proud supporter of UNM Athletics. Visit our beautiful 10,000 square foot showroom at 1460 Renaissance Boulevard across from Sam's Club, or dreamstyleremodeling.com to make your home remodeling dreams come true.
Welcome back to Red Menace TV here on Proview Network. Michael.
Leroy.
How are you?
Well.
Okay,
yourself?
good, yeah. Doing great. Doing great. Listening to award-winning radio on 610 D Sports Animal. And yesterday was Oh, do people care? First of all, let me ask you this. Do the large segment of people really care about this whole Bob Davie investigation and stuff?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you tell me, you get the daily calls day in and day out. I mean, it's kind of weird to kind of mention this about Twitter and Facebook because things move so fast on social media that sometimes a story will drop, people will make a couple of cute memes or posts, and then all of a sudden it's on to the next one. So I don't know if that's necessarily a good barometer of how long, if a story lasts or not. So I'm asking you, as someone that takes phone calls every day.
Right.
I mean, are people calling and talking about it?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
And I mean, you yourself,
yes,
extended 2017 and all the bad things that happened with UNM athletics to like 8 years, because the Davies stuff goes back to 2012. People absolutely care about it, and you care about it whether you're a Lobo fan, whether you don't like the Lobos, or whether were upset or put off by everything that went on last year within the athletic department, the revelations of the Scotland trip and all that. Because even if you go that way, then you might look at this as just more of the same. But yeah, I think most everyone who's a sports fan in this town and probably the state has some sort of an opinion or thought on it. Yeah, I think they absolutely care about it.
So definitely. So let's recap this just because in case someone's...
UNM did 3 investigations on it. Somebody better care.
Yeah, I was going to... So basically there's some allegations and accusations that came about Bob Davie and the entire football program. Is that safe to say, or just Bob Davie?
Well, Bob Davie is the head of the program. Certainly his name gets pushed out to the forefront, but a lot of it would be the program as a whole.
So basically there's investigations of a rape and words that were said about the victim. There's there's a little more to that than that.
I mean, there's Davie's involvement in the investigation. That was looked in, not just what he allegedly said in a team meeting as far as digging up dirt. There was a little more to that than just that part of it. So
and then there was talk of using racially insensitive words. Mm-hmm. Is that the way you would put that?
That's probably a politically correct word.
Yes, that's a political correct. I'm learning something in school, how to be a little bit more...
You're 55 years old, dude.
Not that old, but getting close. Am I missing anything about the investigation?
Yes, there was allegations of forcing players to play when they weren't medically
cleared. That's right. I forgot about that one. That their head was scrambled. Is this like concussion protocol?
No, I don't think that was something that was specific to concussion protocol. As a matter of fact, concussion protocol may have been one of the things where they couldn't do that. But guys who had injuries and weren't medically cleared yet, allegedly they were coerced into playing hurt, practicing hurt.
Encouraged or coerced?
Yeah.
Different.
Same thing.
I don't know. I mean, we've had guys on the show for many years, and I've asked them, and I'm not defending it one way or the other, but I mean, I've talked to plenty of players. It's like, yeah, I played with a concussion. It's like there was no way they're going to get me off the field. I wouldn't even tell the coaches. I'd just fake it till I could make it. I mean, it's crazy, but that's just the mentality. I know we talked last week about...
Right. Well,
I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying...
A couple things with that. And again, this wasn't something, let me be clear, something that was exclusive to concussions.
Right.
But to your point, different culture.
Yes.
And with concussions, once you go into the protocol...
you're kind of...
Yeah, I mean...
Well, no, what they would say is I got a stinger on my neck.
Sure.
I didn't have a concussion. I got a stinger.
I don't know that... And I'm just pointing this out. This doesn't necessarily mean one thing or the other.
Yeah.
But since Bob Davie's been here, I'm not sure a single Lobo football player has actually had a concussion.
Right.
A concussion. They've had head injuries.
Head injuries. Suspected. I think there was suspected injuries.
Cole Gauchi had about 5 or 6 head injuries. I don't know that he ever actually had a concussion. As it was announced by the football team on an injury report. But again, it was more than just concussions.
Right, absolutely.
As a matter of fact, it may not even have been concussions.
Right,
it was just injuries in general.
Injuries in general. So with all of these accusations, UNM went ahead and ran 3 investigations, 2 by outside sources, if I'm not mistaken. And all investigations came through as far as those accusations, or what would be the most headline-catching accusations?
Those are the big 3. Keep in mind, if they had found evidence that he had done any of those things, they'd all be fireable offenses.
Right, absolutely. And I agree with that. I totally 100% agree with that. But I'm saying those were the most. Those would be the headline-grabbing accusations, or the worst.
Well, yes.
Yeah. I'm just.
There were
I'm just trying
things,
to get. Yeah, there was other ones. I mean, eventually they suspended him.
Well, no,
allegedly suspended him.
Well, you actually have to miss time to be suspended, but we can get to that in a second. Like under the culture of racial insensitivity, shall we say, it was using words you probably shouldn't be using. There was, the often whispered about, never really confirmed by anybody. I know they went back and looked into the allegation that he attacked a player before the second half of the Boise State game. I believe that was 2012, his first year. Maybe it was the second year. I'd have to go back and look. But right. Those were the three big things, but then each of the big things split off into their own little things.
Right, but of the big things, I don't want to say it's not guilty, because it's not that there's not guilt. I don't know if there's guilt. It's nothing proven.
First of all, this wasn't a criminal thing, so
right.
so that there's not guilty or not guilty. The investigations into the allegations, with the slight exception of a word change here or there, the findings were somewhere along the lines: no witness statements corroborated this, not enough evidence to verify that this ever happened, or anything like that. So it would be inaccurate to say he was found innocent of everything, but there was basically the only wrongdoing found was some violation of university policy.
And they suspended him, allegedly,
he was suspended
for 30 days.
He was suspended for 30 days. He announced he was appealing that decision. The UNM Board of Regents, we tape on Wednesday. On Tuesday, the UNM Board of Regents announced that they would not hear the suspension. They had decided not to.
And that was a 6-0 vote.
I don't know what the vote was.
It was in the report in the Albuquerque Journal. It was a 6-0 vote with Garrett Adcock, a student. I can't remember what his exact title is, but representing the students abstained from voting.
Because he's a former football player.
UNM football player is what I assume.
So as far as what's next for Bob Davie, my first thought was, well, I guess he could sue. It is very likely that he has in his contract a clause that any disputes with the university be settled through arbitration. I know his last contract had that clause. I don't know for a fact his new one does, but it's probably a pretty safe bet. So before you would get to any thought of lawsuits, that there would be the arbitration process. I don't know that that's what Bob Davie's going to do. Bob Davie may just decide, you know what, the heck with it, I'll take my 30 days. Something tells me he's going to fight this, though.
So what I tried to talk to you, of course I was on the show yesterday on 610. Give me the FM number, I always forget it.
95.9.
95.9. Can I just say 610, is that okay? Or how about I say the sports animal?
Sure.
I was on the sports bar with Michael Carlisle and Michael Trillo yesterday, and I talked about you almost can't just accept it. The reason being is there's so many juicy tidbits out there that by accepting it and not fighting it, you're almost admitting guilt. Like, I'll take, and I know, I understand it's to lesser reasons why he was suspended, but I think people in general they don't hear that Bob Davie was suspended for this. They just hear all the other stuff. That's just my opinion.
And here's why I don't think that's the case.
All right.
Because, well, the investigation's been going on for some time now.
Yes, it has.
But the investigations found there was no evidence to corroborate Bob Davie did any of those things. So, unless you really have no faith in people, I don't know how you could just say, well, everybody's going to think he's guilty because he was suspended 30 days for policy violation. Policy violations could have been anything.
I agree.
He may have had 24 hours to report something, and it took him 25.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be any number of things.
It's kind of like when a basketball player is suspended for violating team rules.
Sure. It could be anything. I don't know. Yeah, I don't see that you have to fight it, because if you accept the 30 days for violation of university protocol, that somehow that people are going to think that means you're guilty of everything. I don't Me personally, I don't get that jump from A to B there.
Yeah, well, you're a very compassionate man. You're very.
I'm really not. I am so not compassionate.
You just said. Well, if you don't believe in people, I don't believe in people. Personally, I don't believe in people at all. In fact, I think we saw that with the coach before Bob Davie, Mike Loxley, where people jumped that conclusion with the ageism or whatever with the secretary, but there was they put the sexual harassment charge in there, so it made it look really bad what it was.
Right, but that wasn't people doing that. The university did that.
Well,
and that's
she did that. She's the one that put the charge, but I'm just saying.
But that's what he didn't grope her. He didn't try to throw himself on her. The allegation.
Yeah, but throwing sexual harassment on there sure makes it sound really bad.
Well, that's what that falls under the heading of.
Right. Oh, I get it, and I'm kind of putting that on this now. Yeah, you're right. It's bad. Okay, he broke team policies or university policies. I get it. I totally get it. I get it. You get it. You've read the stories. But I think the majority of people, because we live in a headline society, we live in a society that's gets their information quick and fast and doesn't necessarily read all the small print. So we go immediately to the exciting, juicy stuff.
Along those lines, if you get your information quick and fast, and you've brought up a couple of times the 24-hour news cycle, it goes through social media and then it goes away. You accept the punishment and it's over and done with.
And I see that point too. I do. I do see that point too. I understand. I'm just saying I understand why he has to fight it.
I should also point out, if you've read the reports, and they are readily available, while they couldn't corroborate any of the allegations, any of the things that they were investigating, the reports, the two reports that were released, strongly recommend changes, and they talk about the culture and all that thing. Part of that gets into the procedural violations, to the violations of university policy. So while Davie they couldn't find evidence to corroborate any of that. If you read the reports, you read between the lines, they are telling you things aren't exactly hunky-dory.
Right.
Again, that doesn't mean he's guilty of any of those things.
Right.
But there are a lot of things that they have lots of concerns about.
And see, that's what I'm saying. I mean, if there's these little dangling fingers, I mean, it's a gamble, right? If you don't think that you're complicit in anything, you're going to fight it. But if there's even a little bit, you could be in trouble. So I just want to take this, and this quote comes out of the Albuquerque Journal, and it said, OEO, which interviewed Davie and more than 30 witnesses, determined Davie's race-related comments did not rise to the level of violating the university's policy on harassment and hostile environment.
Hold on, stop right there.
Yes.
Will you read that again?
Sure. OEO, which interviewed Davie and more than 30 witnesses, I hear you.
No.
Okay.
Go ahead, this next part.
Determined Davie's race-related comments, which means there was a race-related.
I take that to mean there were some questionable comments.
And this is going to be the second part. It didn't rise to the level of violating the university's policy on harassment and hostile environment. But, and here's a big but, its report stated it found significant environment concerns and failure to follow civil rights reporting and protocol. So there's a little,
of university protocol.
Yeah, possibly so.
Well, that would be my assumption, what they're basing that on.
Right, and of course that comes from the Albuquerque Journal. I want to give credit Jessica Dyer.
Probably Jessica Dyer. She's done a phenomenal job on
that. Yeah,
this.
she has. But I'm just saying, there's that. Yeah, okay. There's a little bit wrong here, but there's enough of a little bit of a bait. I mean, you're right. I mean, does Bob Davie really? I mean, that's why I'm saying you got to weigh this out and really decide, do I really want to take the chance of opening this all up?
Well, and that's a fair point, because all right, let's say he does arbitration.
Yes.
And the arbitration, he would argue the merits of, well, I did nothing wrong. The university would say, well, you did this, and then the arbitrator would determine. If he wasn't happy with that, theoretically, he could sue for breach of contract, although I'm certain there are clauses in his contract about behaving morally and ethically and all, and the university would argue, well, that's why we're suspending you, because, again, nothing like what some of the other allegations were, but there were things that were found. Theoretically, he could try to sue for defamation of character. The problem with that is he'd have to prove to a court first that this goes beyond the scope of arbitration, because assumingly via his contract, everything has to be determined via an arbitrator. But then the actual reports not only do not.
We have to use the word guilt, I guess, would be the easiest way.
They actually exonerate him on a lot of things.
Right.
From the standpoint of, this was the allegation we were asked to investigate. We did not find enough evidence or witness statements or corroboration that this occurred.
However, but there's always a however
Sure.
That's what that just said. We talked to 30 people, we talked to you, we didn't find enough, but by saying we didn't find enough, we did find some. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back more from, I feel like, point counterpoint or like.
Hold on. Said you, not me.
Well, that's what it says in the report, did it not? I mean, there's a but there, and the but says there is something wrong, just not to the level that we think.
And I know we have to. I can't help but wonder, and I wouldn't make this allegation or anything, but pardon me for wondering, based on things that have come out in the last year, 15 months, whatever. Was that the report that was handed in? Was the report looked over and things omitted? And I don't know that, but
is this like
if you think back to
dossier or something, or?
Well, I'm just saying, nobody will know we're using public money for this golf trip. Nobody will know that we're not charging for these suites or we're giving. I'm just saying, is that and I don't know. But I mean, does the law firm hand over the report? Here's the report. You do with it what you want, and then they go in and scrub it.
Little redaction.
I mean, I don't know, but you can't help but wonder that.
That's true. Let's take a quick break. We'll be back right after this with more Red Menace TV.
Gecko's
I'm
Bar
with
in
you.
Tapas, a proud supporter of Proview Networks. It's been a fan favorite spot for food lovers and sports fans. With not one, but two great locations, including outdoor patio, an atmosphere you won't want to miss. Gecko's, off Academy and in Nob Hill.
Carmody Medical provides solutions for your everyday needs. Hot and cold compression wraps provide therapeutic compression for the shoulder, hip, and knee. The therapy wraps are constructed of an insulated outer fabric and a ventilated cotton pocket to protect the body. Elastic belts allow mobility and deliver a gentle, adjustable compression. The reusable therapy packs can be removed from the pouch and placed into the freezer. Contact Jim for more information.
Ladera Golf Course. Opened in 1980, Ladera features a full 18 including spacious greens, a large driving range, roomy practice putting greens, and 4 large lakes. Surrounding Ladera, beautiful views of the Sandia Mountains to the east and volcanoes to the west. Ladera is a challenging city-owned course with the longest playing yardage of any other city courses. For weekend tee times and more information, call 505-836-4449. Don't forget, every Proview Network sporting event is on sale at our DVD store. Go to www.proviewNetworks.com to buy your DVD today.
Sadie's is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school sports and athletics, and we here at Proview Networks would like to thank Sadie's for their continued support in helping us bring you all of your New Mexico high school sports coverage.
Here at the all-new Gala Chevrolet, our ultimate goal is to make life easier for you. That's why we built our new ultra-modern facility from the ground up with the customer in mind. With 1,000 vehicles in stock, a great variety of pre-owned vehicles of every make and model, a clean, state-of-the-art service department focused on getting you back on the road as quickly as possible, and a sales team devoted to 100% customer satisfaction. All conveniently located in the heart of Albuquerque. We'll see you soon, right here at the all-new Gala Chevrolet.
I guess not. Hey, we're back on Red Menace TV here. He said 3, 2, 1, but I was like sitting there thinking about something else. What I was thinking about is last week when we talked about this, when this story first broke, and I sent you I think you were on the air when this story broke, right?
Yes.
Okay, so obviously one of the big deals that people talked about was the day after signing day, which is kind of crazy because here we are, signing day, National Letter of Intent signing day. Lobos picked up a bunch of pretty good players, and my original thought was to try to get someone on from the football department to discuss that.
good
yeah,
luck with
right,
that.
exactly. And then the other thing is spring practice is going on right now as well. Lobos are trying to bounce back after really kind of a terrible year. With a lot of, I think there was a lot of turmoil on this team, and we discussed it all during last season, and it just seems like this just kind of like plays into, and that's why I was joking about the 2017 season extending out, because it just seems like when is this turmoil, whether it's on the field or off the field, going to end, because it's time to play some football. Almost, and it's just like all this stuff is, whether it's taking a knee during a game, the losing, this thing, and we had spoken off the air. I was like, I wonder if Bob Davie just hangs him up after the season was over, and I've felt that a few times during Davie's time here, knowing that this was coming about. But to be honest, I'd forgotten all about it until last Thursday.
You have a short attention span.
I know, I do. I honestly do.
Okay, as far as announcing this the day after signing day, yeah, I hear you. You know what?
It's a good move.
In defense of UNM, I would have done the exact same thing. If your intent was to suspend Davie for 30 days, your intent wasn't to fire him or anything like that, I would have waited till after signing day 2. I would have taken my lumps when people pointed it out and said, that's a little odd. I'm like, yeah. On that note, Chaki Abdallah, the interim UNM president, told the Journal yesterday, honestly, we would have waited even longer to announce the suspension. But we announced it when we did because you guys had done an emperor request for the results of the investigations, and that was our last day we had to hand it over to you on that day. So
they would have known.
We waited as long as we could.
So they probably would have waited till after spring practice is that what you're getting out of that?
In a perfect world, well, yeah, then you suspend him for 30 days.
During the summer when
yeah.
Big deal.
Well, it's still a big deal.
And we still don't know what the suspension is.
Well, it's 30 days.
Yeah, but is it, okay, so I was talking to a friend of mine who's a lawyer, and he said, you can have in-house suspension, you just don't get paid.
It's not school, it's not in-school suspension.
Well, no, I'm talking about you just don't get paid. You can still be on property, you can still do the job, you're just not going to make any money. And I'm wondering if that's the situation.
It's probably a pretty safe bet that if and when he serves this suspension, he will not be allowed on
maybe be in Aruba or something?
I don't know about that. I don't know where Coach likes to vacation.
Could he be on the recruiting trail?
He probably will not be in the Todium building.
Okay.
That's probably a safe bet.
Yeah, because I'm thinking, because when it first broke, it's like, well, it's spring practice. I'm like, head coach doesn't have to be there. I mean, he doesn't,
You do when you're coming off a bad season. You've got a new offensive coordinator. You're changing things.
Yeah, but
the coach doesn't have to be. They're not shutting down spring practice if he's not there.
Yeah. Let me put it this way: they videotape everything. So, hey guys, come on over to the crib afterward. I'll buy some pizza and some beer some soft drinks, and we'll watch spring practice and go over what we need to go over. I mean, anything's possible nowadays.
Well, sure. I mean, you could do that. It's still not the same as him being there.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's. I don't know. I just don't think it's.
Would there be workarounds? Of course.
Yeah, and I'm just wondering, were they going to hope to just get through spring practice and then, okay, we'll do the suspension and that's that.
Now, theoretically, there would probably be something in that contract about him having contact with members of the staff, but I don't know that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't know what the suspension entails.
But again, how do you tell somebody you can't have any contact with your son-in-law?
There you go.
I mean, and I'm not saying anything bad about Brian Desmay, but I mean, seriously, if you tried to implicate that, you can't say, well, you can't see your son-in-law. That's just crazy.
That's just madness, right?
Yeah.
Real quick, because we only have a couple of minutes. Been watching any Olympics or not really? Or?
Dude, I am so addicted to curling. Look, you laugh, but you win. And look, things come and go in my mind.
Yeah.
But honest to God, I know. Right now, I am dead set on in 2020. Taking a hiatus from work, training for 2 years, and competing in the 2022 Olympics in curling. Absolutely.
I mean, what is the training for that? I mean, you just
sweep. You just clean
Your
the
wife
house a
would
lot.
love it.
Right. You just clean the house a lot.
There you go. Your wife would be down. It's like, I mean, are we doing wax on, wax off like the old Karate Kid?
No.
Or
the hardest thing about curling is staying upright on the ice, because you don't really have skates, but they're not really shoes either, but they're not quite the shoes the little kids wear with the wheels. No, I mean, there's some wheels on them or something, but they're,
like those Heeley
kind of shoes as well.
Like roller skates, old school?
Not exactly, but my point is, once you master the art of staying upright on the ice, dude, it's downhill from there.
Dude, you should start. I'll give you some money to like help on the training thing.
I like it.
We could do a GoFundMe. Send Michael Carlisle to the, what is it, 2020 Olympics? Or no, it'd be 2022.
2022. That's why in 2020, that's when I'm going into training.
Nice. I'll tell you what, we're at this show. Help Michael Carlisle get to the 2022 Olympics as an official curler, I guess. We'll see you next week. God bless you all. Is that what they're called?